right, tonight's daily digit is, we're back to big numbers, $332 million. Want to know what that is? That's the amount of money federal workers received in bonuses for 2012. The bonuses range from cash payouts as high as $66,000 to little perks like extra days off. I guess all those things were spared in the president's big, bad sequester cuts that were supposed to bring down the government. Now, the progressives' war on women is back after the Obama administration announced it will support allowing girls of all ages to buy morning after pills over the counter. The president's Department of Justice originally challenged a federal district judge's April ruling that allowed girls to buy the pill without age restrictions. But after pro-choice groups demanded reproductive justice and freaked out the administration, well, they changed their stance. Just so we have this clear, the federal government now thinks that girls of all ages should have access to what amounts to basically an abortion pill, but still supports age restrictions for things like buying alcohol or voting or being able to buy tickets to R-rated movies. Let that set in for a second. Think about that. Isn't that kind of crazy and a little bit dangerous? Look, I know the progressives love to throw a fit and label stuff like this a war on women anytime conservatives address the issue, but this is way beyond that because we're not dealing with women above the age of consent. We're dealing with young girls. What the federal government is doing is promoting unsafe behavior and eliminating personal responsibility. I'm also willing to bet it's only a matter of time before progressives want this pill to be free of charge as part of Obamacare. Here to talk about all this is Alison Howard, the communications director at Concerned Women for America. This is amazing to me because of all the things that the FDA labels in need of a prescription. Now you could walk in as young as 12 and buy this.
Right. Andrew, thank you for having me. And this is the Obama administration once again putting politics and progress above the health of women and children. And like you said, most children need a parental permission slip to play contact sports, and yet they have complete and total control over their sexual life and a big decision like getting Plan B.
You know, if you were going to take kids on a road trip to a museum, you'd have to get a consent form. You want to take a kid down to the pharmacy to get this pill? No need.
Yeah. It's bizarre that the same people who advocate for a decision to be between a woman and her doctor always are now eliminating a doctor, like you said so well. Groups like Concerned Women for America and others would advocate that people and women, especially young girls in these situations, need help and resources and counsel. And we're not just talking about women here, we're talking about young girls as young as 12 years old. There will be no age limit, there will be no prescription. Any point of contact there, you can go in, you can get a soda, a bag of chips, and Plan B. We're talking about it being on the shelves and available to people, or women of all ages, I should say, including our young girls, and that's really scary.
Not to mention that, and I don't mean to get technical here, but this isn't the type of, this is not a device, it's a pill, but it's not the type of device that would protect somebody from an STD. But if you think, well, I'm protected here, this is going to encourage even more dangerous behavior.
Right, that's a great point. The birth control pill requires a prescription. Now, Plan B is 40 times as strong as birth control. It has 40 times the level of levonorgestrel in it. And when you go and get a birth control prescription, you get checked for STDs. If you have young girls and women using Plan B as Plan A, they no longer require an STD screening. You will see an increased rate of STDs. We've already seen that in Sweden and Great Britain, by the way, where they've studied the effects of Plan B on kids, and there they saw an increased rate of abortions, an increased rate in pregnancies, and STDs, as you stated, because I would argue that it gave people a false sense of security, gave these young girls and women a false sense of security. It's not foolproof. It's not always effective.
And let me remind everyone, we're not talking about women above the age of consent who could assert their right to privacy here. We're talking about kids that eat school lunches. You know, we fight over the content of school lunches because of their health. You know, Michelle Obama wants kids to move and eat more veggies, and we're trying to get the soda machines out of schools where children are going to school. And now you want to make it so they can walk right past the soda machine, right past the candy aisle, and get a pill that most doctors would tell you should not be given to a girl who's 12.
Exactly. And unfortunately now they won't even have a say in this discussion. You've completely abdicated the rights of parents to be involved in this major decision. You've taken away a doctor, a physician, anyone to be able to ask these young girls, what's going on? How can I really help you? Why is no one asking why these young girls are sexually active? Statistics show that not all the time is it going to be consensual. Is there someone involved there? The potential for abuse is huge. This is a pedophile's dream, a predator's dream, Andrew. Think about that.
Is this sad that the goalposts have been moved off the field? We're not arguing about whether or not insurance companies should be forced to pay for prescription pills for women above the age of consent. Let me stress that again. They've moved this off up into the stands, and now we're talking about middle school girls.
Well, we're talking about a 6-year-old potentially. We're talking about a 10-year-old potentially. A young girl that may not even know she might not be pregnant because she's not even menstruating. I don't know if you can say that on television, but it's reckless here. And I don't know where the adults are in the room. I'm going to say that as a young woman myself. Where are the adults here to say we have a right and an authority to be responsible adults, talk to our children? The only way that parents are now involved in the sexual activity lives of their kids is making sure that they have this conversation. And I would encourage every parent to talk to their kids and explain to them the dangers of Plan B, how strong it is, the dangers on your body. Now these girls can take this as many times as they want and no one will know. What is the third question they ask you when you call the EMT? Is this person on any other medication? And now no one knows. No one will be able to help these young girls who may have adverse reactions, and we would argue, especially groups like Concerned Women for America, potentially inducing an abortion if this is already fertilized and implanted.
I can't wait till the spokesperson for this new pill is strawberry shortcake. I'm not even kidding. I mean, they're worried about Joe Camel getting kids to smoke when they're young because Joe Camel's a cartoon. All right, Alison, thank you so much for joining me on the program today. Coming up, with the Senate holding votes on immigration reform measures, the president hit the road to remind everyone how much we owe illegal immigrants and how much it's our duty to help them. Isn't that nice? That's next on Wilkow.